Policy, policy, policy. Policy, policy, policy. Policy, policy, policy. Policy, policy, policy.
Welcome to William Steele True Crime and Steele Spotlight Television. William Steele with Roger Homefield, as in Homefield Advantage. He's got a YouTube channel that's incredible. Roger Homefield and Joe Citizen?
JoeCitizenShow.com.
JoeCitizenShow.com. I'm asking you guys to go over there on YouTube and subscribe to this man's channel. It doesn't cost you a dime. You're going to hear an incredible story. This guy's a career musician. If I'm not mistaken, you were in radio at one point, and he's got a hell of a career. He's very, very much into the political scene now, and he doesn't like what he sees. He has jingles, policy, policy, policy. So we're going to hear some incredible things from this guy. Roger, say hello to my audience. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, first of all, Bill, thanks a lot. Thanks for bringing me to your audience. And yeah, it's a bit of a cluster F. You know, I was a career musician, but I've always been very patriotic. And I've really had I've had an incredible, great life. And I really hate to think that it's the last great life an American's going to have. And I couldn't possibly be too melodramatic about it, because in 3 months we're going to have an existential election. We hear the word existential a lot. And I think this time we can really use it and apply it to this election, because people have no idea just how deep and sinister this current administration is as far as their agenda. Their agenda is not America and Americans. They have their own agenda. And it's going to affect just about every facet of life that we know and love, from Christmas to the existence of Israel to everything that we've known our entire lives. They consider bad. The nuclear family, for example. We had the Black Lives Matter. The biggest problem that the black community has is statistically proven. The families that are fatherless, which is the majority, they have problems with the children. And that's the number one problem of the black community, is they don't have the mother and the father and the child. So what does Black Lives Matter come along? Well, Marxists, they don't like families and religion anyways. Exactly. They say, well, just get rid of the nuclear family. People don't understand how radical, and these are the influences on Kamala Harris. Her parents were communists, and not just communist leaning. I mean, they were communists. And it amazes me that she could even be considered to be a candidate, but nobody knows any of these things. And at the rate we're going, what I'm afraid of, Bill, is that because it's such a short runway, people will never learn of these things until it's too late.
Right. So one of the things we often discuss on the show, as my audience knows, is the Biden crime family, how corrupt they are, all the millions of dollars that were traced to Biden family member transfers, and of course Hunter's struggle with drugs and all that stuff. A lot of people don't realize that people like me served 85% of my prison sentence for a nonviolent crime in the end because of Joe Biden. He had the crime bill of 1994, which affected federal prisoners, but what he said was, what this bill came out, it was telling the states that if they constructed more prisons, that the feds would put up the money for the prisons if their legislatures brought their sentencing more in line with federal sentencing guidelines, 85%. I fell into that trap. My life and my family was destroyed because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the one that called black super predators. This is the party that Democrats want to vote for, the ones that want to keep blacks and liberals in prison, drug addicted, and dependent on the government. And so we try to get the truth out there. I have dear friends that are Democrats, but many are fleeing the party. And so we became recent fast friends with Roger here, and he shares a lot of our beliefs. A lot of them, unfortunately, his platforms won't let him discuss what he's found out. And he has contacts that are retired CIA agents that provide him with insight and verification of certain things. And you can go to his channel and see that stuff. And I could put this up on Rumble if we get into any of that, or maybe on other shows. But he will be a guest coming on occasionally with my other co-hosts. So real quickly, he was an accomplished musician, and I'd like you to tell my audience who you played with and your claim to fame as far as your music and your contacts, Buddy Rich and all that stuff.
Well, for me, nothing is better than a good big band, like a really good big band. Nothing's worse than a bad one, too. And that can sometimes hurt. But to me, to have played lead trombone, first chair trombone in the Buddy Rich Band, Stan Kenton Orchestra, that was like playing first base and batting cleanup on the Yankees. And to have actually realized that dream was, I actually had to pinch myself. But I've got music, by the way, on rogerhomefield.net. That's rogerhomefield.net. Folks, what I did is I wanted to be able to direct people to the music. But you know how folks are today. God forbid they see anything about Donald Trump or they see that you're for America first. They melt. They melt like an ice cube in Havana. So I had a separate website, rogerhomefield.net for the music, and then joecitizenshow.com for all the politics. The thing is, William, is that with YouTube, when you go to the YouTube channel, just everything is all commingled anyway. So all my family members will faint anyway. But Bill, I really appreciate it very much, and thanks for introducing me to your audience.
Definitely check out his YouTube channel. We're trying to bring this man's numbers up. There's a very specific plan involved here. And we're trying to get his jingles played at the rallies and some of the Trump events. I'm going to have them playing here at the end of this. I'll edit them in. There will be links in the description. And I believe he gives his permission to use them far and wide.
Absolutely.
So he wants them heard.
No charge.
So it's my pleasure to introduce Roger. You'll be seeing more of Roger. Roger, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Now, we only know each other a short time, but I see your passion. I feel it. We share it. Let me ask you this. If the good Lord was to take you home today, how do you want to be remembered to your community and to your family?
Someone that made a difference.
Fair enough. And with that, we bring you Roger Homefield. Stay tuned for more. Check out his jingles, his parodies. They are incredible. Subscribe to his channels. Thank you for joining us, Roger.
Thanks a lot.
Look forward to having you on again.
Thank you.